Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fancast Friday, the thing to cap off the week, and that is a wonderful fan cast that we have for you today. Now, it is a bit late, so we're going to try and get through this as quick as we can. Thank you, Acres of Movies. We will try to get through this quickly, but, just still try to explain our options and such. But the thing that won the poll, which we will be showing off soon, was MCU Gwen Stacy. So I'm your host, John, by the way. Hello to see all of you. But here we are. Dan is also here to join us. And
Hello.
are you excited to talk about the possible MCU Gwen Stacy, Dan, or do you not really care?
No, I'm excited because this was like 2 weeks in a row that we had Gwen Stacy as an option, and then it finally won, or like it was, it's overdue. I think it's also a character that probably will be in the MCU well before we get to Miles Morales. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk.
So this is obviously the poll. Speaking of MCU Miles Morales,
YOLO.
that was there in addition to Kratos, which Tony really wanted, but no, having none of it. He was close, second place. But and then an additional DCU Batman, since there was like recent talks about this guy. So we're like, might as well throw another one out there. But obviously, MCU Gwen Stacy did come up. Now, before we get into the whole thing with Gwen Stacy, what I was trying to fit the vibe was like ones that could be normal Gwen Stacy, and then ones that could be Spider Woman Gwen Stacy or Ghost Spider, whatever the fuck she's going by in the comics these days. But I was trying to go for the vibe who could do like both. Some I had more in mind for the more normal one that's like Bryce Dallas Howard, regular Gwen Stacy, the one that got killed by Green Goblin, and then the more popular now, version from Earth 65 that's featured in the Spider-Verse movies and whatnot. So, with all of that, let's jump right into it and talk about Gwen Stacy. So, also hello to Enterprising and Acres of Movies in the chat. But the first one I have, this one has been talked about so much, very popular fan casting, and I think everyone expected it on this list, even though she was not on the thumbnail, and that's Emma Myers, because goddamn, she has been fan casted so much, and honestly, she would be fucking perfect for the role. And I forgot to minimize the picture a little bit, but that's okay. But with Emma Myers, like ever since she came in, like she's been like known for like a lot of stuff, but like she fucking catapulted into popularity with Wednesday as Enid. And with that, like they see her personality, they're like, oh my god, she would be fucking perfect for Gwen Stacy. So she's extremely popular fan cast, but there's a reason. But she nails a lot of aspects of the character. She, kind of does more of, she can work for the more like kind of cutesy nerdy vibe that can work for the more regular Gwen Stacy, but she also has a lot of aspects of like kind of a do-gooder or a charmer or something like that can work for more of the superhero side. And it's not just like based on looks. I think she is a very good actress from what I've seen of her. I think she needs a better agent. Cough, cough, Minecraft, cough, cough. But I think she would nail both aspects, and she has the look. Like she's not a natural blonde, but having short blonde hair, she nails that look. And honestly, the only con I could think of was that possible scheduling conflicts with Wednesday. But even then, that's kind of pushing it because the seasons for Wednesday are every like 3 years at this point, like with most shows nowadays. So honestly, that might not even mean anything. So Dan, what are your thoughts on this fan casting?
Yeah, I don't think the scheduling conflicts will be a concern so much.
No,
it's one of those things where Wednesday is a big show, but Spider-Man, the franchise, is a lot bigger. She's a popular fan cast. I think she could do a good job. She could also grow into the role. She's a bit on the younger side compared to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still playing somebody in his 20s, so I think that could work. It just would depend on how what you could bring in a Gwen Stacy. Yeah, the dynamic, the chemistry. You can bring in a Gwen Stacy that's not necessarily immediately a love interest for Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
And especially if you go for the more multiverse side where she's a hero from another world where she didn't die, but Peter died. and became Lizard, and she had to kill him. So there was that
but,
as well.
I mean, if you go off the whole Spider-Verse look of Gwen Stacy, then she kind of matches it about as closely as anybody in live action. She's got the charisma. I wouldn't mind seeing her. I just think it would depend, again, if you are bringing Gwen Stacy into Spider-Man Brand New Day, really how does it connect to the story of the movie, and what kind of role is the character going to play moving forward into like those Avengers movies and everything else that comes after. So in that sense, I mean, the for me, the biggest concern here would be like, how likely is it? But Emma Myers would be a good fit. I think she could work really well. She's got the look, she's got the acting ability, so it's a good choice.
I think she would be in a nice. I think she would be pretty likely, but I don't think she would be on the higher end. I don't think, because I rarely has Marvel done fan castings and actually done those with their heroes. So this is an extreme, because it's not, the Marvel is very different from DC, even though David Corenswet was a pretty popular fan cast for Superman, but he also eventually proved himself, and James Gunn saw that and eventually went with that, but it was more incidental that he was a fan casting. Same with Lobo. Right. That was a fan casting, but at the same time, James Gunn saw that. But it was just kind of like all the stars aligned, but it still kind of works. But that works more often than not. Rarely do fan castings ever happen in Marvel. So with that, it's likely, but that's probably the only real reason as to why, a real one I've seen. But even then, that's kind of iffy, because there were a lot of people that didn't want to see him in the role. So, I think she was likely, but not at the height of likely. So,
she's not the most likely, but yeah, I get what you mean. By the way, guys, if you are watching live, hit the like button. We appreciate it. Even if you're not watching live, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show so far.
Yes,
it helps us out.
But the next one we have is Emily Allen Lind. Same age, but she has done a great variety of roles throughout her career. A less likely actress for the role, but I've seen her like bits here and there. But she has done plenty of great work in the past. She's done a big blockbuster recently. She did Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and she definitely has the look. And with that, I think she would do a very. I've seen her. She was great in Doctor Sleep, more villainous. Same with Frozen Empire, but I think she does have that range of like, could work as a hero as well. But the thing is, the scheduling conflicts may be a problem, because she just started on a show called We Were Liars. It's not huge or anything, but that's always, something to note. And the thing is, she's mainly done horror films. She did Lights Out. She did, Doctor Sleep. She's done a couple others that I can't think of right now. And maybe Marvel doesn't want to see that. Maybe they don't want like horror in their like more everybody brand kind of thing. And the thing is, she's played more like gruff roles, like in like Doctor Sleep again. That's kind of where she's like kind of more standoffish, with more so than Gwen Stacy is as that version of the character. So I think she might be a little bit much for the role, but I think she has enough range where she could do the role very well, and I think it would work personally.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the question from Acres of Movies, what do you want most from the role? I want somebody you want to play a strong and independent, like the free-spirited,
there might have been somebody else
superhero. So you're meant to be, basically the idea is especially if they're going to make her a superpowered character. I think this Gwen Stacy needs to be like her own person. Like she needs I think the best Gwen Stacy we've gone so far is Emma Stone, and like that was to me the perfect, not only because she was a great actor, but also she is a great actress, but also like her chemistry with Andrew Garfield was perfect. Mm-hmm. Now it depends again if they're going to go in that direction of it being a romantic interest, but even if they don't, you want someone who can hold their own, maybe can even lead their own movie down the road. Because I know Sony would want to do like a solo movie if it's a hit, like off the bat. Whether probably as part of the MCU, but like a spinoff. So you want somebody who can hold their own, has the charisma, has can exude strength and confidence, and is able to sort of play in the same uh, playground as a Thor and a Spider-Man and a Captain America and an Iron Man and all of these characters, a Black Panther. Like you're gonna be not just in your own individual movie. You're not just playing alongside other Spider-Men kind of characters. You're gonna be like crossing over with all of those other the Hulk, for example, or the Black Widows. So, or Miss Marvel. So how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself? I think Emily probably has the range to do this, even though she hasn't done much like this before in terms of the role. But again, because she hasn't proven herself in so much work, like she's on the younger side, as are most of the picks here today. I guess for me, the audition and the screen testing would be ultimately what helps kind of decide whether she'd be a good fit or not. But yeah, again, it would be the biggest opportunity of her career. So if she was a good fit for whatever the casting description and the casting call asked for, then why not submit an audition and give it a shot? Maybe she could get it. Maybe on the more the dark horse side, but yeah, still. So I wouldn't mind seeing her in the role.
Yeah. So in terms of likelihood, I think she would be, like maybe kind of sort of maybe. Like I don't really see her in the role like too heavily. I don't think Marvel wants this actress specifically. But I think she would be good, just maybe not the best for the role.
Right.
And too many cons that might be a little bit much. I could see her doing it. I wouldn't be mad if she was cast, but I think there are better roles, and I just don't think she would be very likely, is all. Then the next one we have is Amaya Miller. So she's a relative unknown, and sometimes for major characters, they like to go with more unknown actors. So it's good if they want to go for more of that vibe. And I think personally, she would be better as the more non-superhero Gwen Stacy.
I'm just gonna say this out loud. Doesn't she look like a young Chloe Grace Moretz in that photo?
I was thinking of a young Amanda Seyfried.
Really? I could see both. I think they're just the eyes and the lips.
Both.
Like
I can kind of see it.
It's there. I can see it. I can see it. It's kind of uncanny, actually. But anyway, go ahead.
But I think I think she, from what I've seen of her, which is very little, but I think she would be better as like the love interest Gwen Stacy rather than the superhero Gwen Stacy. But I think she could do both very well. But I think she would be better as like if they want to introduce her as a love interest for Tom Holland, or just a supporting character. They don't have to make her a love interest. And she's done a big blockbuster before with War for the Planet of the Apes. That was much earlier in her career, and she was only a kid at that point. But even then, I think Amaya Miller might be too unknown for the role. It's just like she just doesn't have enough behind her to really say, hey, I think she should play this major Spider-Man character. And with that, she's not even on the radar. And she has a couple upcoming projects, not major ones, but enough to be like, hey, I think they might be in the way of something like this. And maybe she doesn't even want to do big blockbuster movies anymore. Maybe she doesn't want to be part of the MCU. Maybe she doesn't want to be part of Spider-Man. So who knows? But I think she would be good. Maybe not the best for the role, but I think she would be pretty good. Now, if you don't know who she is, she played Nova in War for the Planet of the Apes, the little girl in that movie. But she has she has played a plethora of other roles since then. Not too many, but enough to like give reach out on her resume. You know. But yeah, I think I think what about Lock and Key? Was she in Lock and Key? No, you're thinking of Emilia Jones. She was recently in The Running Man. I think she's a little bit too old now, but she also could be good in the role. But yeah, I don't know if you know who she is, Dan, but I think she would be pretty good.
I like I said, well, I haven't seen too much of her work. She just reminds me of a young Chloe Grace Moretz, and then I did see War of the Planet of the Apes, so I can remember. But like obviously, like you said, much earlier in her career. So
yeah,
was she from the? I don't know if she was in. She
no, that was Freya Allen.
Else.
You're just confusing her with every blonde girl ever. But I think she would be
Anywho.
good. I would say this is even odds. She's not like super popular, but I think she would be good for the role. But I don't think she would be very likely. She might be too unknown, not even on the radar. So, that's why I rate her a little bit lower. But then we have probably one of the best fan castings, I think, McKenna Grace. She's like one of the hottest names right now. She's done, I think, like 5 or 6 movies this year. I mean, she's done
She
the
is
most
one of the
notable
hottest
ones with
actresses in
FNAF,
Hollywood.
Regretting You, and then I think she did 2 or 3 other ones. She's like, look at her 2025 plate. She's done so many, and she's done big blockbusters. She did the Ghostbusters franchise, and she's doing the FNAF franchise right now. That's going to be out. That's out already. So
it's kind of weird. She doesn't look 19. She and that's not at all meant to be like a slight on her at all. And I feel like she's done so much stuff. I can't imagine. She's still
this
only
picture
just
I got.
19?
She looked so much like Gwen Stacy in this picture that I had to pick it. But she looks. I think it's the cheekbones that they highlighted her cheekbones and her nose a little bit that made her look older. But usually when she doesn't look like, she looks like her age. But
I think it's also like, this reminds me of like a young Emma Stone. Like if that's the mold that you're gonna build on.
Yeah.
Right?
And she's acted circles, or like she's acted around like so many great actors, even as a little kid. Like in that movie Gifted, like she fucking ran Jenny Slate and Chris Evans out of fucking town with her performance in that movie, and she was like less than half their age. So she was easy. Well, I mean, she's not a kid anymore, but she was like one of, if not the best child actors like ever, like genuinely. And I hope she has a good career, but with her fucking movies as of recently, not the best choices, but that's okay. But even then, she has the perfect look for it. She's that perfect age of like, if they want to go for more of like love interest for Miles type character, then they can go for that. Or more along the lines of like the Spider-Verse kind of version. But she also has said that maybe she doesn't want to do like big franchises like Marvel. Maybe she doesn't want to be tied down to Marvel. She has shown more of interest with DC. Like I remember they like her and Mason Thames in an interview. They were like, "Oh, we want to be like Nightwing and Starfire." She has shown more interest in doing DC stuff than Marvel stuff. So maybe she doesn't want to join Marvel. And she does have quite a few upcoming projects, so maybe she has some scheduling conflicts with those. But even then, I think she would be a banger for the role. She looks the part, she acts the part, she's a fucking amazing actress. I just wish she had better fucking movies. Apparently, she did one really early this year that was really good, so I might go see that online. But damn, McKenna Grace is like one of the best young talents I've seen. So I would love to see her in the MCU. I would love to see her in DCU, but I would also want to see her like grow herself as an actress before maybe getting those parts and being tied down to like big franchises. I mean, Ghostbusters is kind of big, but that's even then that the next one's probably not going to come out anytime soon. But with that, I think the likelihood is probably low, but like the likelihood, I'm not sure. I would say I think Marvel would probably want her as a name for something. Um, and I'm gonna go with Let Her Cook. I would say Let Her Cook. I think she's a high likelihood. The only reason that she's not perfect is because maybe she doesn't want to be in Marvel, and Marvel maybe wants to go with more of an unknown. But they could also won't be like, hey, she's a hot name. Let's use her now. So, maybe not as this character, but another character. But I think she has a high likelihood to make.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is Marvel likes to tie you down to these long contracts with multiple appearances, and they're most likely going to end up using those appearances on the contract. So, like for example, Elizabeth Olsen like looks at it and thinks like, I've talked about it many times. Like, yeah, she wants to maybe go back to the role, but at the same time, she looks at it and says, "Look, I couldn't do many movies I wanted to do while I had that contract with Marvel back in the day. So maybe McKenna Grace is looking at that at an early age and the amount of success she's had. She's ahead of her years. So she's looking at it and thinking, I don't want to get tied down with like a 5 picture deal with Marvel. I want to have the flexibility to do different things. So I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, we might not be getting a Gwen Stacy in Brand New Day. It might be a little further down the line. They might tie that together with the live action Miles Morales, which might not be until, well, at least until after the current Spider-Verse universe ends up. She could be a good Stargirl. That's a good one. But if it is gonna be Brand New Day, I think she would be a great pick. She's like you said, very busy, and clearly, like, look, actors can do 5 movies in a year, right?
Yeah,
they're
she's
not
done
there
it.
like,
You know,
like directors spend 2 years of their lives like on movies usually because they're in there from the very beginning to the very end. The actors usually get cast and then show up on set like literally, weeks before production. They'll get cast and they'll, depending on if you have to do training work, you might be months before. But still, like, you show up, you shoot the movie, then you leave and you're done. Like, that's about your job, and then you maybe do some promotional stuff. So for a movie of this scale, this would be the biggest project of her career, and I can clearly see that. I think so far this is the best pick on the list. So I do see a lot of potential here.
Yeah. Then yeah, I could definitely see her as Cassandra. Cassie Sandsmark, 100%. She would be great for the role. But next up, we have a bit of an older one. So this is one I wanted to go with. Like, if they were going for more like love interest.
I mean, older, relatively speaking. I mean, 28 is
Tom Holland's age rather than like an upcoming Miles Morales, adjacent character.
Yeah.
But Georgia Wiggum, I think if they want to do more like Gwen Stacy for Tom Holland's character, whether that's the superhero version or the love interest version, I think she could be really good. But she could be an older, possibly rougher iteration of the character because she's kind of played good standoffish characters, but not to like the extent of like Emily Allen Lynn. She's played like very balanced characters, and she's been in Marvel. It's maybe we can make it a theme of like Punisher actors becoming other characters in the MCU. We had Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and maybe we can have Georgia Wiggum as well. And she's done great work. She was recently on Ted, and she like has this kind of like fuck all personality that I think could be good for the character. And maybe it's like a Gwen Stacy if she does the superhero version. It's someone who's gone through a lot of shit, and like maybe she's like a bit rougher. But she's done a lot of great work. But in terms of this, maybe they want to considering the popularity of now Gwen Stacy with Miles Morales. Maybe they don't want to do that with Tom Holland's character, and she might be too old. And I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed that Ted is getting a second season, so there might be scheduling conflicts with that, which is bullshit. But it's like, I'm trying to come up with cons, guys. I'm trying my best, and schedule conflicts is usually a good go-to. Okay, so if they want to go for more like with more Tom Holland Spider-Man than Miles Morales, whoever they get Spider-Man, then I think Georgia Wiggum would be good for the role. She was also in the Orville, which I really liked her there too.
Yeah, the Orville is fantastic. I would love to see her take on the role again. Like you said, if they want to go with somebody older that's more closer to Tom Holland in age, and is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think she could be a great fit. She's also got a lot more experience just because she's a few years older than the other actors, and she's been in the business for a while. Maybe not quite as high profile a pick as McKenna Grace, but Georgia Wiggum would be great. She'd be a great choice. I think this could be a really good fit. And again, it would just depend on which version of the character we're trying to go for and how soon we're expecting to see her in the MCU. So, yeah. She could have been a more comic book accurate Liz. Oh, you mean like from the first movie, like the Homecoming? Yeah, I guess. Like,
sure.
Sure. But still, another great pick, John. I think all 5 of these are really good.
Yeah, and in terms of likelihood, I'd say I'd buy that for $1. I think that would be
6.
I think
6 out of 10.
a decent likelihood. But Grace Van Dien, I did consider Grace Van Dien, but I'm like, I've only seen her in an episode of Stranger Things, so I'm like, and she didn't really give off Gwen Stacy vibes there, so
Yeah.
And we don't try to do nepo babies here.
Oh, okay. Anurad 2057 saying I can see Caitlin
Dever could be good.
Gwen.
Again, more of a rougher version of the character, but I think she could be good. But anyway, so let's go back to the beginning.
Black Cat. Okay, that could work too.
Black Cat. I think she could be really great as Black Cat. But let's go back to the beginning. Emma Myers is probably the most popular fan casting. Then you have
Emily looks the part. Lind, she could be the part.
Amaya Miller, McKenna Grace, and Georgia Wiggum. Then we have our honorable mentions, which I put Haley Steinfeld. I'm like, honestly, just get the voice actress in the MCU and just, she'll just play just ignore Hawkeye and then just like have her there. It's fine. They can play variants. It's okay. Like if she's a multiversal character, boom, just bring her in. It's fine. Or she's like the live action version of her animated counterpart. That could be funny. Fuck it. Why not? And then Elle Fanning, again, similar to Georgia Wiggum, I think she could play more if they're going for Tom Holland's like love interest supporting.
Wait. Hold on. But like, if you did Haley Steinfeld, she's already in the Hawk. She's like a
no. I know that's like I was like ignore Hawkeye. She's playing a variant. It's fine. It's this version. She's Gwen Stacy. It's fine. But and then you have Elle Fanning. I think she's proven herself in terms of more than prove herself in so many different things, so many different acting roles, so many different shows and movies. She can handle like being a big character in a franchise with Predator Badlands. So there's that. And then Millie Bobby Brown, she's maybe looking for something outside of, after
she's pretty committed to being at Netflix. Like she's got so much going on,
but maybe she doesn't want to be stuck to Netflix. Maybe she wants to have an actual career.
This would be a big coup for Marvel, like getting Millie Bobby Brown. She's got a big fan base.
And the thing is, it would be very different because she's very like stoic in Stranger Things, and Gwen Stacy is not stoic. So I think.
Well, I mean, like have you seen?
Yeah, she has range. Like Enola Holmes is very like
Enola Holmes, exactly. I was gonna say like it's very different
and very much out there, and she's a very intelligent character there. So I think it would work. So but
I think Elle Fanning would firmly be with Elle Fanning. You're looking at now somebody who's definitely going to be definitively maybe even older than the Peter Parker that we got right now, right? Like you're looking at somebody who almost comes into like a mentorship role, even. Or am I? Yeah, like you're not like I'm not saying she's old, but like she would definitely be profiling like an old, more experienced version of Gwen Stacy, and probably more likely to be like one who's already got superpowers rather than just being a love interest for Peter Parker, at least in the MCU. That's based on the MCU Spider-Man that we know so far.
Right.
These are all great picks, though. I wish. I mean, you know what? I wish Haley Steinfeld wasn't already in the MCU. She would have made a great.
But like, I mean, they can have like fucking a variant. It's Gwen fine. Stacy.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, look, if Sony's not willing to give us or like these characters until the Spider-Verse trilogy is done and they're done with that universe, the animated stuff, then maybe in Secret Wars they could just have Haley Steinfeld do two different characters. She could be the Hawkeye, the new Hawkeye, and then she could also play like a Gwen Stacy, and I bet you that Gwen Stacy would be the more popular iteration. So Millie Bobby Brown, I don't know if she's the perfect fit for this role. I mean, but she can also probably do multiple different roles. So and then there'll be a lot of X-Men characters to be cast in the years to come, so maybe she can come in that way. Elle Fanning, I don't know. She seems like another one of those actors who, and again, this is me speculating, but based on her picks for projects over the years, she's not necessarily one to get tied down by multi-picture deals. So maybe that's one reason why she might not be somebody that would work. But these are all three very diverse options. Like all three of them would play very different versions of Gwen Stacy. So all good picks. And then I think these are all like A-listers relative to the other names that we looked at, aside from maybe McKenna Grace. So yeah.
But we'll go through your guys's options now.
Busy.
You guys did have a couple. But in terms of I mean, there wasn't a lot. I mean, Hunter Schafer, I think that would ruffle a lot of feathers, but like
no, I don't care about like the
no, I don't care about that. I'm just saying it could, and then I think it would be funny.
It would be great. It would just, again, be kind of similar to Elle Fanning in the sense that you're going for an older profiling, like Gwen Stacy, somebody who's not necessarily like
I mean,
meant
Elle
to be.
Fanning's like around the same age as Tom Holland, so.
Oh, is she? Okay, all right. Again, I'm not. I just think relative to the other ones that the other actresses that we went over, the main
Yeah,
five
she's
picks there on
actually
the.
2 years younger than Tom Holland. She's
Yeah,
27.
all right. She could play. She
I
would
think,
actually. She's got the look. Hunter Schafer's also got the look. So yeah.
yeah. Then we have Caitlin Deaver. We already mentioned this, but I think she would be good. I've seen a good amount of stuff from her, a good range of stuff where she could be maybe rougher, maybe kinder, but she's good and she's a good up and comer. Well, she's been around for a while, but like in terms of now with being in The Last of Us, now she's like skyrocketing in popularity.
Yeah.
Grace Van Dien, as I mentioned before.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to mention that young Liz Taylor wouldn't even know what. I don't even know if Gwen Stacy was a character back then. But anyway,
No.
go ahead.
But Grace Van, I could maybe, but like I would have to see more from her. But I also wanted to mention these, but even though this wasn't Enterprising's point, I think Amelia Jones could be a really good Gwen Stacy.
Wait, wasn't Emilia Jones in Coda and what that won the Oscar from
Yes.
Apple like a couple of years ago? Yeah,
Yes.
she's a great actor. She would be great. I would love to see
she
her
was
in
great.
the
She's
MCU.
great. I still never finished Lock and Key. That was another Netflix show I watched, so add that to the list. But I never finished it, but she was really good in it, and I think she would be very good as the character. Freya Allen, I think, could also be a really good Gwen Stacy. Even though that was not the point of Enterprise's comment. It's just, hey, it's like looking like every blonde white girl, but honestly, I think they could do it. But yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Because you guys were giving a lot of suggestions, so
By the way, hello to Dark Lead Eric, pointing out to Just Some Geeky Guy a couple of things. Look, we appreciate all the options you guys are sending us in the live chat, and that's part of the fun here. But yeah, if you popped in a little bit later in the live show, be kind of rewind. We went over the 5 main picks. John, do you want to quickly summarize for us one more time who those were before we log off?
So we have Emma Myers, Emily Allen Lind, Maya Miller, McKenna Grace, Georgia Wiggum, and then Haley Steinfeld. Yes, I'm aware she's Hawkeye. I'm aware she's Kate Bishop, but I'm just saying variants exist, all right? Elle Fanning and Millie Bobby Brown. Okay, calm down.
Wait, is Justin B. You guys suggesting Blake Blossom? Who's Blake Blossom? I have no idea who Blake Blossom is.
Blake Blossom is a porn star.
Okay, well, there you go. Not a good fit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, maybe she wants to transition into real acting instead of getting her back blown out by Johnny Sins. So,
Wow. What a way to... Anyway, let's move on from that. Pivot. Where's the sound?
Wait, we got to play the thing.
Do we have it? No, man, it's not here. Is it here?
It's not in this one, no.
Dang it. All right.
I think that one attributes
maybe
to
my ears.
Anyway, Blake Blossom is
Gwen Stacy. Well,
anyway,
the MCU Gwen Stacy. We've got a few good picks, but also, John, we've got a few picks in the new Tier List Tuesday poll. So to wrap up the week, let's talk about that for a moment. We just put it up before the show. The link is actually in the live chat, so you guys can go vote for this in the YouTube community post section. If you're watching after the fact and you can't see the link in the live chat, then just go to the community post section in YouTube on the channel, and then you can find the post there with the poll. And we've got some options for Tier List Tuesday right now. Top 10 Warner Brothers franchises is winning the vote really early on. So this is again in honor of the fact that Warner Brothers just sold itself to Netflix. And so we are wondering, of all the things all the IP that Netflix
all just the bought, things they have their grubby little fingers on,
what would you consider the top 10? I'm pretty sure we have some, big picks, the obvious ones, like you got Harry Potter, you got Lord of the Rings, you got DC. DC would be like one big thing. Because if you start doing Batman, Superman, then that will be like half the top 10. What else? Game of Thrones. So there's a few options in there. So we'll do the top 10 for that. If it wins, Lex Luthor Actors is in there again for like the 3rd or 4th week in a row.
Yeah.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Avengers movies. So the 4 that have come out so far: Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Secret Wars, and Avengers Endgame. And then, of course, the big suggestion from this week's Tier List Tuesday was James Cameron movies in honor of Avatar Fire and Ash coming out soon. So of course it would include all the Avatar movies, and depending on if it doesn't win this week and becomes the second highest voted, then maybe the following week we can do it, but except like we can then include Fire and Ash in the list. So I don't know. So those are the 4 options. You've got the top 10 WB franchises, James Cameron movies, Lex Luthor actors, and Avengers movies. So yeah. Oh, it is creative. Thank you. I don't care if that's being facetious or not, or if you're being sarcastic.
No, I think it's better than top 10 Thanksgiving movies when I had to put fucking Rocky on the list because there's not 10 Thanksgiving movies that exist.
Dude, I think you missed a few obvious ones though. But anyway, it's fine. We'll
I couldn't put any of the Thanksgiving movies on there because I hadn't seen any of them.
Some of y'all have already voted. I think Acres of Movies voted earlier. Enterprising has voted. So get on it. Get voting. So.
Yeah. All right, Lex Luthor is winning, guys. Way to go. 1A.
You know what? Relevant question for the relevant question for Fancast Friday, John, since we've been talking about Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man Brand New Day, or potentially in the MCU in general. Who do you think Sadie Sink is playing in Brand New Day?
Rachel Alves or Mayday Parker, one of the two.
Okay. I think, yeah, Mayday Parker might be a good one. That's actually good. Yeah. So I'll second that. Yeah.
There was like one scene at Thanksgiving. Like, come on, man.
All right, MTG, so you do like it.
Fucking seen it. How the fuck am I supposed to watch a movie I haven't seen? And the thing is, the only reason I fucking put stupid Addams Family Values on the list, I'm pretty sure people would have fucking killed me if I didn't. So,
Well, guys, Thanksgiving comes around every year, so next year we'll do it again, and then we'll have different lists. So we'll go about doing it. But for the time being, guys, thank you for watching. It's been an exciting week of shows. Today we did a triple header of shows. Also Curious DCU Daily and Fancast Friday, and of course Tier List Tuesday is back on Tuesday. So go vote on the poll in the post section on the YouTube channel, and of course we'll be back on Monday with another DCU Daily. We hope you have an amazing weekend ahead, and stay safe, stay curious, go watch a movie, maybe sit at home and watch a TV show. I hear Netflix has got a few things, or if you want to support HBO Max or Warner Brothers, go to the theaters or go on HBO.
Boycott Netflix. That's what I'm going to be doing.
It's funnily enough, Netflix is like my most expensive streaming service that I pay for, and it's the one that I personally watch the least. Everybody else in my family uses my account, so I get a money's worth out of it. But anyway, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Netflix are going to be merging, and that's a big news. But we'll be back talking about all that and much more on Monday. Hopefully we get the Supergirl trailer on Monday.
Yes.
Then that would be a fun show.
Most definitely. But see you then. Look out, look up, fight for justice, be blessed, do all the things, and remember, fuck Netflix.